Kia ora, my beautiful year 10s, Miss Webster here. I hope you and your whānau are all safe and looking after your hauora during our lockdown. I was about to post some work this morning on Classroom, as I've been doing this entire time, but then I decided to take a step back and think about the fact that some of us might have a few questions at home. Maybe there's a couple of things we're not understanding. And I know personally I'm very much a visual learner. I quite like to see things, hear them explained, and then I can go away and do the work. So as much as I know I sound very annoying on camera, I have a huge pimple on my face and I'm just not a fan of looking at myself. I thought I would do this for you guys. So what I'm going to do is film this video. We'll have a little recap on agonist and antagonist muscles, flexion and extension. Then we're going to look at force summation and balance and stability. So you guys can just sit back, watch this, laugh at me. I'm going to be laughing at myself. I know it's going to be cringe, but hopefully it helps. So yeah, enjoy. Alright team, so first up we have got agonist and antagonist. So reminder that agonist is the working muscle. So if I was doing a bicep curl, the working muscle would be the bicep because it is contracting, and the antagonist, which is the relaxing or lengthening muscle, would be my tricep. And we know that these two work together because muscles work in pairs. So then, this movement is flexion. So that is when the angle between two body parts decreases. All right, so you can see the angle is getting smaller as I start flexing. Then we've got extension. So this is when the angle between two body parts increases. So as I move from flexion to extension, the angle is getting larger, and my agonist muscle is now my tricep, because my tricep is the one that is contracting and my bicep is the one relaxing. All right, and again, we know that these two muscles are working together because muscles work in pairs. So from flexion to extension, the roles of the muscles, the agonist and the antagonist, literally just reverse. All right, so that's just a little recap on agonist, antagonist, flexion, and extension. All right, team, so the next one is force summation. So we actually looked at this the day before we went into lockdown. So that was a bit annoying. So basically, at the moment, you guys have been in charge of your own learning for force summation. So what I will do is I'll break it down for you today. So if we remember, force summation is when all body parts work simultaneously. So simultaneously means working together, okay? So with force summation, in order to generate maximum force, which is what we want, we start with our lowest muscles and finishing with our highest. That's our strongest to smallest, so starting with our legs, finishing in our arm. There are three main parts to force summation. So you've got the sum, which is the amount of muscles being used. So the more muscles we use, the more force we can generate. The sequence, so that's the order in which we're using our muscles, so lowest to highest, largest to smallest, and then the timing, all right? The timing in which we move from each muscle, all right? So that's very important, the timing. So if we look at this graph down here, we've got force going up the side, timing along the bottom. So if we move on from each muscle too early, what happens is we aren't actually generating enough force. So if we're quickly moving through the sequence, we're not building that force, which means our object isn't going to be able to move quickly or be, basically be thrown far, okay? Because there's no force behind it. If our timing is too late, what's going to happen is as we build up the force, when we should have released it, once we go past that point of when we should have released, we've wasted all that force and basically the force starts dipping. So when you release it too late, what's going to happen is it's going to go up and then back down, okay? We've wasted all that force because we've no longer released it in the sweet spot. Okay, so as we move to this one, this is if we've got it all perfectly and well timed. So as we move from the legs, hips, shoulders, elbow, and wrist, if we release it at perfect times where we've built up that force, move on to the next one. We've got the most amount of force and we're ready to release. As we've generated all this force, what's going to happen is the object, say we're throwing an NFL ball, is going to be able to go up high and long, all right, because we've generated all this force in order to move it, all right? This one is just going to go up and down, which is not what you want. You're not going to get it all the way to the end of the field. I don't know what they call them, wide receivers, I don't know. And then to early again, it's just going to go up and down because we haven't generated force here. We've wasted the force here because it's no longer useful, because we've gone over the point of where it was meant to be released. And then if we release it at the perfect time where we've generated the most amount of force, that's where we get our distance and speed. All right, so hopefully that helps a little bit with force summation. We will look at this a little bit more. I'll upload some work that we can kind of break it down a bit more, but this is a very general intro to it. I hope I haven't confused you. I might have, but yeah, force summation. All right, team, so well done if you've made it all the way to the end of the video and you haven't muted me yet or exited out of my video. I probably would have. The last principle that we're going to look at today is balance and stability. So this one, I'd say, is probably the easiest one to understand. So we haven't actually looked at this in the classroom, only in lockdown, so this will be the first time you've heard me talk about it. With balance and stability, it's pretty straightforward. So balance means the ability to maintain control of the body in a still position. So as you're standing still, the ability to stay upright, not fall over, remain balanced. It's all in the name. Stability is the ability to maintain control of the body in motion. So as you're walking or moving, playing rugby or whatever, the ability to stay upright and not fall over. So as I'm walking, not falling over, basically, as I'm moving. With balance and stability, there are three main parts. So we've got COG, BOSS, and LOG. So those are acronyms for different things. So COG is your center of gravity. So your center of gravity, you probably can't see in this video, but basically it sits around, think of your belly button. So that's your center of gravity. Then we've got BOSS, so base of support. So base of support is what is in contact with the ground, okay? So if I'm standing up right now, my base of support is my feet. If I was doing a handstand, my base of support is then my hands, okay? So it's a thing that's in contact with the ground, your base of support. It is supporting you as you are standing or performing something, so a handstand, for example. Your line of gravity, so log, that's basically it's an imaginary line that falls down through the center of your base of support. So as long as your line of gravity is through the base of support, you should be stable. So then we look here, so this is just breaking it down a little bit more. So having a wide base of support increases stability. All right, so if I was standing on one foot, my base of support has gone from shoulder width apart, having two bases of support, to just that one, all right? So already I've lost balance, okay? A lower center of gravity increases stability. So as opposed to me standing up tall, if someone came and knocked me over, I'm more likely to fall over. Whereas if I bent my knees and lowered my center of gravity, I've automatically become a lot more stable. So then if someone was to come knock me over, I'm more likely to refrain from falling, okay? I can kind of counteract that movement, all right? And then centralizing your line of gravity within your base of support increases stability. So basically all that means is making sure that your line of gravity always falls through your your base of support. You will always be at your most stable, all right? So if I was on one leg, leaning to the right, my line of gravity is no longer through my base of support because I'm already leaning, all right? So my line of gravity isn't through my base of support, which means I'm not as stable as I could be. I'm also on one leg, which makes me unstable. And also because my leg isn't bent, my center of gravity is high, again, I'm unstable. So how could I make myself more stable? What I'm gonna do is move the camera. So I'm gonna show you how I could be more stable. Alright team, so well done. You have made it to the end of Miss Webster's lesson. Yeah, just to recap balance and stability. So hopefully you can see my feet right now. Right now my base of support is pretty wide. It's falling in line with my shoulders, hip width apart, so I'm the most balanced in terms of my base of support. My center of gravity is a bit high at the moment, so if I flex my knees and lower it, again, I've become even more stable. My line of gravity is falling through the center, which means I'm at my most balanced and stable. So if someone was to come along and try and knock me over, again, I'm more likely to bounce back. If I was standing up tall and my center of gravity was no longer as low as it was, and someone came and pushed me over, I'm more likely to fall. And then if I was on one foot, unbalanced, only one foot in contact with the ground, line of gravity falling outside, center of gravity high, if someone came and pushed me over, chances are Miss Webster's going to go tumbling. Alright, so question for you. If I'm right now, how could I become more balanced? So hopefully you know the answer to that. So I would put my other foot down in contact with the ground. I would widen my base of support. I would lower my center of gravity, and my line of gravity would be falling through the center. Alright, so that's how I would be the most stable and most balanced I could possibly be. So just during lockdown, really think about when you're doing movements, what your agonist and antagonist muscles are, what the muscles are that are involved in the movements, whether it's flexion or extension occurring, just all these small things, okay? Think about force summation, balance and stability. I'll upload some work so we can put it all together and start focusing on our assessment. We've still got projectile motion to look at, so I will introduce that soon. Maybe I'll do another video if you're lucky. But yeah, putting all of this aside, just make sure you guys are really looking after you and your family. Really focus on your haora, so you've got your taha tinana, so your physical well-being. So make sure you're getting outside, moving your body, whatever that might look like to you. That might look like shooting hoops, that might look like going for a walk. Just yeah, make sure you're moving your body. Got your taha hinanato, so you've got your physical and emotional well-being. Sorry, mental and emotional well-being. So make sure you're just taking a bit of time for yourself, whatever that might look like again, whether that's sitting outside and reading a book, listening to some music. Just make sure you're focusing on the positive things and looking after your mental health. And then you've got your taha wairoa, so you've got your spiritual well-being, whatever or whoever that might be or look like, just really focus on that. And then you've got your taha whānau. So again, spending time with your family, siblings or auntie and uncle, grandma and granddad, mum and dad, whoever it might be. Play some games, have some fun, maybe do some online things with your friends from school. But yeah, just really look after yourselves, guys. That's the most important thing at the moment. But again, thank you for bearing with me. I hope it wasn't too boring. But otherwise, yeah, I'll see you later. Hopefully I see you physically soon. I'm missing you guys. I'm sure you're missing me. But otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day or evening whenever I upload this. Yeah, see you later.